What's up, everybody? Welcome to the AGA City League, round three. We're covering New York City versus Boston. Unfortunately, Boston's board one was on vacation, and their substitute has failed to show up on time. They did not make it here before the automatic disqualification. So, yeah, Ryan Lee gets a free pass. To be honest, Ryan Lee is very good. So uh, he was likely to win anyway, but they're not going to play the game today, and instead, we will focus on the two main matchups. These two games could go either way, and seem like they'll be quite interesting. We have board two is Alan Huang versus Forrest Song, and board three is Alex Chi, Wondon Pro, versus Yanjun Liu. So, yeah, we're going to start by watching uh, board two here, Alan Huang versus Forrest Song. In this one, um, black is Forrest and white is Alan. Alan is placed board two ahead of the professional player Alex Chi because his AGA rating is higher. And Alan has been doing very well recently. He's uh, giving some good games and scoring victories against Youngkyo online, Youngkyo Do, Go Inside, my YouTuber friend. And um, generally just a very, very strong player. So understandable that he gets to play board two. He's three times NA Masters champion. He's been fifth place in the World Amateur Go Championship 2023. Yeah, he's won a lot of tournaments. Forrest is one of my friends. He played black in this game. And yeah, he actually just won the Massachusetts State Championship. So congrats to him. He's a very strong player. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello. So yeah, he plays black here. And yeah, he took the enclosure and then he backed off with a large knight's move, which is somewhat unpopular these days. People tend to play the back off just one space, whether they want to play knight's move or a one space jump. But that doesn't mean this is wrong. This is completely fine. When you do that, you have less control over the corner, which is why Alan decided to then directly invade the corner, take away the territory. And I think Forrest probably was prepared with this variation because this is the AI move to play this jump here. And I know this, so probably Forrest also knows this. And then white played here. So I think that this variation is typically considered very slightly better for black locally. But really, I mean it when I say very slightly. And just minor direction things, like the fact that this black wall is pointed towards the bottom side, which has a white stone in the bottom left corner instead of a black stone, probably means it's an even result. Especially considering that the right side, which black kind of wanted to build, is quite difficult to continue to develop after you play this variation. So, yeah, Forrest could have just played away. He could have jumped. He chose to play the Hane, which is the fiercest move. Um, Normally, when you Hane like this, and then the opponent cuts you, and you want to save that stone, you have to get something for this. Because white is about to get a lot of power on the outside. Actually, in the variation that Forrest played, where he Atari'd and played like this, white started pushing from ahead. So I pushed from ahead a million times here and got a bunch of influence. He spent one stone helping his group. And white got very, very strong over here. And black just had to save on the second line. So the reason why black does this is because black thinks he can attack the bottom right corner. So after this, black played that Hane, and the end result here is one where I think by Sumego, black's best move should be to attach here. And when white plays this move, it should be white's best move. Black cannot cut. White would answer. White has an open liberty, so it's fine. So black needs to play this Hane, this Atari on the one stone, and then capture here. And this would form a ko to capture this white group. Right now, probably making a ko to try to capture this group is not that important, is not that big. So since white would especially be able to make co-threats as well as that happens, black chose to not try to capture that group right away, but just play a shoulder hit here. And it probably means that black got the poor result here. Probably means that black got the short end of the stick in this fight. Since, okay, although the white group is not really territory, white did get a lot of power here, and black's territory that he got on the right side is very small, just first line points. And in the meantime, white managed to basically nullify any power advantage. Black's wall and white's wall shouldn't really be that different that black can expect a lot of extra bonus potential. So it looks to me like the right side is only slightly better for black, and white has these two stones. So overall, I think white is a slight advantage from here. So we can go back and see how that happened more carefully. I think it mostly comes from this Hane. Probably Forrest thought he could pressure this white group a lot harder, but after this cut, it's really awkward to save this way, which is the sort of normal way that you'd like to save. Then white would play this extend, and black does not want to just sort of run out passively on this side and let white press from above and really try to attack these two stones. So black would want to play on this side, but after that, there's more problems going on over here. I'm not sure exactly which way white would try. It almost looks like wedge is possible directly. And when I say almost, maybe it just is. Even if you don't wedge, then there's many other ways to play this as white. You can just sort of apply soft pressure. And this black group is not actually nearly as strong as you'd like it to be in order to attack. So like originally, black was doing this in hopes that he could prove that the corner of white would be killable. But if white is planning on like capture racing from the outside and getting a lot of value on the outside, it's not really making sense. So this Atari made some good sense from Forrest that he doesn't want white to churn around and counterattack his black wall in the bottom right corner. The problem is after that, he was forced to go and save his stones over here very insistently. And there was no timing for him to ever exchange this Tiger's Mouth move that he could hope to do. Because if ever he does that, he'd have to come back to save his group over here, and it would just be a bad exchange, giving way to capture and a potential ko to fight whenever they like. So that's why it was natural that Alan should get the timing to come back over here at some point when he likes, which makes it so that when black comes back and attacks this group in the corner, it's only ko instead of potentially being killable if black could cover everything and get all the like if everything goes according to black's dream here and white doesn't exchange that and just forgets to and plays over here, then ideally, I mean, black still doesn't really have time to exchange it, to be honest. White still can come back over here, and anytime that white does come back and fix the re-race, it would be fine. But ideally, black wanted it to look like this, where then black would get this cut as Atari and make it so that it could be locally dead instead of ko. Anyway, Alan prevented that with this timing to come back here, and pushed one time here, and then he just took a 2-space with his stone on the bottom side. So the idea of that is to make sure that this wall can't attack that one stone very hard, but just generally can't apply very much pressure to white. Even if white would get pincered with a whole 2-space group, the 2-space group will be much safer than one stone or so. So after Hane and white mostly saved the group, still there's some trickery going on in there, black played this shoulder hit. I think it might be a little bit slow to play this shoulder hit. I'm not exactly sure that if black had played some other area, it doesn't seem right for white to try to run out. Still, black would be able to run out as well. So I'm not exactly sure that it was necessary to run out this group. The black group wouldn't be under very severe threat of being surrounded. And although white could run up and try to build the bottom side, the low stone here doesn't make building the bottom side seem that appealing. So this might not have been necessary, and Alan decided to just go and take a big point in a corner, take an enclosure, and sort of ignore this one. I'm sure if White followed along with Black's hope and expectation, maybe that White just answers and answers, that Black would be pretty comfortable to get the extra movement to run. But that wasn't what happened. Alan was quite smart. He played away. Even though Black can cut off that one stone, you can see that the area that Black would form is very overconcentrated. It's very small. Black has invested many stones and only is getting about 10 points at max. So White would very happily just continue to take another corner enclosure, and Black would not have enough in this game. That's why Black then chose to ignore the situation as well and approach the upper left corner. So far, so good. They played a corner Joseki over here. That's a common corner pattern everyone has seen before if they've played a lot of games of Go. And White approached the group. That's a very comfortable approach, looking to take some bottom left corner territory at the same time as you put some pressure on this Black group. And Black played the shoulder hit here, which is a good move in general when White is aiming at some area in the bottom left and some area on the bottom side. You can sort of ask them, well, what do you really want to take? White chose to answer by taking the bottom side very directly by blocking here, which I think is actually probably a little strange. The idea that if Black would block and take the area, it's just small, was a good idea, and you can keep that going. There's no need that we have to go and answer here and give back the momentum into the center. It's not like Black gets that much momentum. White was still planning to push up, and White can get some extra territory here. But if I were playing, I think I would have chosen to jump rather, and still I don't think Black would pretty much ever block here. And you can put a little more pressure on this one stone, and just in general, you can tanuki with these stones a little more often. But yes, I agree that White is a little more comfortable, so he probably was just playing a way that he thought was as solid as possible. Okay, Black chose to block down to potentially break the bottom side, and maybe in the future can apply pressure to this White group. White pushed here. This is pretty necessary when Black blocks. You don't want to let Black continue to dominate the contact fight between that one stone and these two stones. Pushing here means that Black doesn't get a move that would seriously apply pressure and stop White from moving against this Black group. Black gets to accept it and run out to the center pretty comfortably. But after that, yeah, this was just Alan's gentle plan. He wanted to run out his group, have a Black group and a White group both running out to the center. And as long as both of those are relatively strong and nothing in particular happens, the White should be a lot more satisfied. This Black group will actually eventually come to be weak someday. I guess that's probably why he chose to play this saving thing on the bottom side. And it was that pressure which led Black to play this jump, which this looks quite a bit too passive. I think what Forrest was thinking when he played there was that if he plays with his weaker group, those three stones, that this White jump would be really annoying. If Black then chooses to save the three stones, White would get a lot of movement for free and could just continue to use that. It's like the White stone is more valuable than the Black stone in this kind of circumstance. So by taking this himself, he puts pressure on White and stops himself from having to worry about that connection. The problem is that the area that he's making is quite small, and the amount of movement that he's gaining that he couldn't have moved to before is not that different, right? Like Black already could have moved out from this headstone towards the center. So by playing this move, now he can move out a little further, but not very much further. It's not a big difference. So when he played here, and White gets the first move against these three stones, probably Black has lost a little bit of initiative in the game. The move that White... My lighting is a bit funny. I'm sorry, the sun is coming down at the moment, and it's sometimes peeking through the trees. And yeah, I'm getting brighter and darker intermittently. I apologize. Sometimes the branches are in the way and sometimes not. It's quite an awkward time of day. Sorry about that, guys. Um, well, the game though is quite interesting at this point because white can attack those three stones, but they definitely shouldn't die. Black has many resources, many directions to run. Basically, white doesn't have that many stones attacking them. What is this? This is only like 7 stones attacking 3 stones. Since black is efficient, it shouldn't be enough to be able to kill it. So Alan chose to attack this way. He's leaning on the upper left group. Basically, if black responds many times to this upper left group, then white could get a lot of momentum and then use that to really properly attack these 3 stones. So to me, the standard idea when your opponent does something like that would just be to emphasize on the weak group itself. So white was saying, I lean on the left side, I'm making a contact fight over here. And then black could just directly save the important area. Then white can get good shape, but black got better direction. Is the most common trade in Go. One player gets to play a more efficient local shape, and the other player gets to play uh, the more important place to play. So after that, it would be a little annoying to handle this upper left black group, but probably quite possible. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to be okay, although it might be hard to be efficient. Anyway, Forrest did not choose to play a simple answer, but chose to play the attach and crosscut here, which I'm betting means he's been studying with AI. Because when I play against AI, the AI does this to me all the time when I have this shape. It loves to attach there and crosscut. The fighting is quite difficult from here, and probably first idea was that if white emphasizes on attacking the black 3 stones on the bottom side, then black could secure a corner invasion later and probably still save those 3 stones. I mean, they're really not supposed to die. So it would be difficult for white to muster any serious attack. And if white does a more passive method and just really secures the corner, black might be able to save these stones with the resources on the left side. So this exact moment, right after black is crosscut, can be a little challenging for white. I think the most default move is the one that Alan chose to play extend back here. Sort of lets black do whatever he wants to do in the corner. And yeah, this is where we were as we started commentary, but they've continued playing quite a bit. Black chose to immediately play to run out. So this is indeed basically the method that I was describing, where black says, okay, then I've gotten a little bit more benefit towards the corner, and I can still run out my group. I can still save my group. He chose the large knight's move, I chose the knight's move, but they're both fundamentally the same direction, same type of move. They can be very different in the fighting, but it's the same idea. And in the future, he's hoping that he can break the bamboo of this white and maybe even continue to attack it. It makes sense because if black would try to play from the center like this, then white could easily answer. And you can see that the black shape is just sort of headbutted by the white shape. It's not making any progress and actually um, reducing white area significantly or getting any eye space or any more movement directions. So it wouldn't make very much sense to press from the center here. But also, Forrest didn't want to play Atari here right away and something from the inside because as white runs or saves this somehow, probably white could try something aggressive. Anyway, the point is that these outside 3 stones get weaker as white just spends any move to apply pressure. Then black, you can see in this variation, loses a lot of potential to make a base and to make some eyes on the bottom side. So cross-cutting first and then choosing to run away is probably a pretty high-level decision by Forrest. It might be better than my initial instinct of just taking care of the group by itself. So yeah, after that, then Alan got to choose wherever he'd like to play and chose to take the bamboo, which fixes those inside AGA annoyances, but gives black the next move to save. After he saved his weak group, he can continue to do it however he wants. Probably from Alan's perspective, he's thinking, well, Black could run out, and then I could have defended this left side, but I could never have defended it this well. Actually, these crosscut moves have become sort of bad exchanges locally when white answers here. So the white shape is very efficient in terms of how it's taking the bottom left corner. Um, if black can't do anything particularly nice in other areas of the board, it's probably a local gain for white. So maybe black should have just directly run instead of cross-cutting. It's quite difficult. It's very minor differences, all these things. Anyway, Forrest is going to try to prove that what he did was fine by playing this capping move. This puts a lot of pressure on that white group, but also white can still counter pressure black. This black shape is not very thick. There's a large nice move right next to a two-space jump. So strong players generally see two-space relationships as an immediate tool to be cut. At least in the center of the board, most people are thinking like, okay, what happens if I cut right away? And it can often be very powerful. Maybe white would prepare it in this case. It's actually pretty interesting. I'm not sure where I would play if I were white. Maybe just a jump. Wow. I wouldn't have played where Alan played, which is here. This, for me, it's very counterintuitive to allow black to make a split shape like that. Then this is called a split knights move here, where white played a knights move relationship to the stone on the other side, and black managed to cut it without being cut himself. So normally you think, well, I can use my stone on both sides. Black can use this stone to reduce the corner with a monkey jump, but also can use that stone to attack and pressure the white group on the bottom side. So this exchange has to be really beneficial to white on the bottom side for the downside of how much black gained towards the bottom left corner to be worth it. It might be that beneficial, but to be honest, I can't really believe it. I think that playing a softer move, this jump, um, or maybe this jump, they were probably better ways to make this situation turn out well for white. I somehow I think if black just accepts, then black gets something. However, that's not how Forrest thought. Black did not answer there, but played a large knight's move to the right side, attacking the white stick over there. Wow. It's quite interesting. Anytime white could come back and apply pressure here, but Forrest is basically thinking if white comes back like this, that's too passive. So I don't need to commit to the cut right now. That's what Forrest is saying. Instead, by just adding pressure to these stones on the right side, Forrest is hoping that he can make a better attack later. Right now, if black cuts here, then white would be able to make these counterattacking ideas, something like this, and counterattacking into the center. So he chooses to start in another direction entirely. It is totally possible. Um, Somehow I feel like white should be able to run out, and still this black group is under pressure. So as white runs out, black is going to have a really hard time applying real pressure to these white six stones on the third line on the right side. It's, it's a good try by black though. This can create something difficult for white to handle. Anyway, white did the most obvious move to just run out next to that black stone, basically trying to run out to the top as much as possible. Um, there's more thin shape for black over there compared to the bottom side, although there are some weaknesses on the bottom side. And Forrest immediately played here, which is signaling how that large knight's move also builds the top side. But somehow I feel like it's not that strong. Normally, this upper left white corner is not going to get attacked that hard, even if black approaches and adds another move. This corner is a very resilient group. It has a lot of eye space. It's hard to imagine killing it. So that means this stone is more about the right side of its effect than the left side of its effect. Usually, if it's like that, then you could step it back a bit and it would be just as good. So that doesn't mean that this move is that good anyway, to be honest. Because I understand what Forrest is talking about. He's thinking, if I can go here and I have a large nice move, I can threaten the absolute biggest area, an area that's so big I definitely don't deserve all of this territory, which means white should invade. What black wants is that white invades here, gets busy with a group on the right side, a group on the bottom side, a group on the top side, and then they all run into the center and black kills one of them. That's black's master plan. But probably white won't invade right now, but take care of these groups, particularly the group on the right side. White seems to be able to see some initiative against the black center weak stones if black would, you know, let white run as he did. So if I were playing black, I think I would prefer to start with a move around here and ask white exactly which directions he'd like to run, how he'd like to continue. And then once this is sort of settled, if I have influencers as top side, I could play a move like that to make a big area and try to finish it. But right now, it's like not quite close enough to finish for me to really believe in this kind of move. So Alan just played a one space jump, a very natural move to save his group on the right side, apply pressure that he could run to the top, and apply pressure that he can break through the bottom all at the same time. This makes black very busy, and this stone already feels misplaced. Ooh, wow, interesting. Forrest did an immediate push and cut over here. This is not that intuitive to me because it looks like white is really strong, but you can see Forrest reading really clearly. He saw, okay, what if white tries to chase me into his strength? Normally this is very dangerous, but now that black stone and used to be the crosscut is perfectly placed to save those stones in the tiger's mouth. And yeah, black could save. So this cut is indeed possible for black to do. So what black is hoping is that if he can capture that stone, he doesn't have to take care of the bottom side. And if white runs out that stone, white can get busy again, where white has to take care of the weak group over there and the weak group over there and the weak group over there, all the same as he used to. So this is actually quite a good move. I like this cut. If black had just done something passive, this game was sort of getting away from him, but this cut starts to make me believe again. And Alan chose to play the push. That's looking to put pressure on the white side, but it's also, or sorry, on the black left side, but it's also sort of committing to that stone, which white didn't necessarily need to do. It was possible for white to first reinforce over here, maybe attack the bottom right corner of black, but he's starting by saving this stone, which is quite daring and absolutely could be good, could work, but this is going to make the game a lot more interesting than it may have otherwise had to be. Black should definitely save these two stones. The Hane at the head of two stones would have been crushing. And then white played this attachment. So now white is saying, I'm going to threaten that one stone, and I can break your shape in the center. So either the connection between this large knight's move or the connection to that one stone is on blast. Basically, this is actually going to be quite busy for black. White is immediately starting its counterattack. It looks good. It looks like this is going to be quite dangerous. I think if I were black, my first intuition would be to Hane here. Let's see what Forrest came up with. He chose that Hane, the same move that I would choose here. And yeah, this move is a good move because it makes it so that the white connection there is not so clear. And if black could capture either one of those groups, most of the time that's going to look really comfortable for black. Black would get really reinforced and strong with the surrounding stones, of course. So white doesn't really want to die, but white is also very busy if white really tries to save both of these things. So maybe he's going to start with just a Hana here. This is what I would do if I were white. And apply pressure that the bottom side can immediately die. But it's not that clear that that's going to be good. After that, maybe this diagonal would be possible. I don't know. I'm just throwing some moves down, but I don't know whether they're good or not. White chose to cut immediately. So exchanging the cut prevents black from connecting, making a split shape, and properly cutting those white stones. But after that, black has an immediate ladder threat, which would be very meaningful after you play this cut. So white has to answer that and save these two stones, right? It looks like white is going to get very busy in this sequence. Okay, white chose to play this Atari, splitting the center, and I'm sure black wants to save that one stone. Yeah. Saving this one stone makes it so that those two stones are really important to white and very difficult to fight with. It looks like white is getting really quite busy here. But still, Alan fights. He runs out the stones. This is about as violent a variation as we could possibly get. I love it. I love it. Mm. Black can now take care of these two stones, those two stones, these three stones, that group, the connection here, the group over there. There's so many things going on. Mm. I think if I were playing, hmm. First of all, I'd be smiling. I'd be having fun for sure. This is exactly the type of game I like to play. But also, it's a game I'm not very good at, to be honest. Hmm. I think. Oh, I would probably play Atari here and then run it out, making myself get a split shape, making these stones really heavy, and then coming back over here. But then we're gonna get counterattacked on the left side, and I think we can survive as black. I don't know. This looks like a fun plan. This looks like it would be at the very least fun, if not good. I mean, still white could try to save with this one. I mean, there's many variations we can go down here. Wow, this is a really exciting and critical moment. I'm sure they thought for a long time. Eventually, Forrest chose to play this one without the Atari, which doesn't short the liberties of these so much, but allows white to play the extend, which looks like it's Sente on the left side. It can make a good shape, but maybe not that good of a shape. And it also still threatens that ladder that we were threatening. So white should extend there, probably, right? Seems like extend is the right move. White did that. And then black blocked. So this is somewhat similar to the variation that I was putting down. Black had to block here. He couldn't answer on the left side, even though I thought it was like Sente, because then white would jump over here, and those two stones are dead. So that's a disaster from black's perspective. If these two stones die without any compensation, we can't play it. So he had to block here. But it's still really intense. If these three stones die, probably white wouldn't be that comfortable, but white might be able to save it. Mm. Wow, white chose here. So white gave up the three stones in order to try to attack the upper left black group. If white had run it out, what would happen? I was thinking it would go here. Ah, this is not that clean. If you go this way, well, I guess this is not that. In this case, black's two stones are dead, so that can't be good, right? For black. My goodness, it's quite complicated. So if you block here, white does this, and those two stones are dead, right? Or am I missing something? I am. I'm not. I keep on misreading. White can capture these two stones at this time. My goodness. So after that, if black wants to save these two stones, white would run out here. And that looks very bad for black because white could cut here. And if you save those stones, white can Hana here. And black is just getting way too busy. This is like a classic variation where black is not able to hold things together. It doesn't look like even if black manages to come back here and capture these four stones, even then it's probably still going to get broken somehow. So yeah, to me it looks like this would be a good option, but instead white turned here. That gives black the opportunity to capture these three stones, which would immediately fix that cut in the center and make it so that those five stones are under a lot of counter pressure. So white would have to really try to attack this black upper left corner. But that one could also save itself a bit. There's some shenanigan to pull. Okay, this is really, really interesting moment. And wow, wow. So black, instead of capturing these three stones, chose to first peep here. So that's a pretty strong threat. If black would continue to block, then these white stones would be in big trouble. And if those white stones die, then the black stones get strong. So white chose to answer that. It is it is a threat we can answer without losing that much shape, without losing that much value. And then black chose to hane back. So he answered that white turn, meaning white could still come back to save these three stones, which to me looks really valuable, but maybe their thinking is such a huge commitment. Wow, 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 wow. This is really, really intense. So at the moment, white does not save those stones, but plays the cut. This is what's going on live right now. Cut first means, um, okay, these black three stones are dead. Those those stones can't really be saved after this cut. If black tries to save them like this, then white could Atari and then chase, and you can see black has two liberties and white has three liberties. So black is dead. Um, Even though black dies there, I'm not sure I would have cut because black can now ignore, come back here, and then later, if white wants to attack this whole thing, black has this Atari, and can play like this. Hmm. It doesn't work anymore? Wait. So, okay, okay. I'm getting quite confused. So after this one, they're saying it doesn't work. If white G7. After this. So the point of playing here, this exchange, they're saying that one already captures that because now we can play on this side and beautifully cover it all the way like this. It was a gorgeous net. Wow, I didn't see that. So this exchange was designed to capture those three stones in Sente. Wow. I didn't see that. Wow. Okay. They're tricky. They're tricky. So, mm, then this turn must have been a big mistake. To allow black to capture these three stones in Sente is even worse than the Gote that I thought black had to capture them. It's a huge deal if black can just exchange this and then move back to the left side immediately. I mean, the good news for white is at least white gets to capture these three stones, so he doesn't have to save these five stones by themselves. But man, that seems like it was a tremendously well done fight by Forrest. Wow. The time situation, by the way, currently Alan Huang has 41 minutes left on his clock, and Forrest has only 14. So I'm sure he was thinking about this very hard. And he set up a nice Tetsuji there. Very nice. Unfortunately, I'm not sure he's even leading because of that. Just off of that itself. It's going to be very difficult for him to take care of that upper left side still. Maybe not very difficult, but he will have to do it, at least in some way. And then the fact that black is so strong over here, having captured those three stones, basically white gets any forcing move that they want to threaten to save those back. But then, mm, black's influence will emanate, but not that much. Mostly black is just safe here. Alan is surprised. He probably didn't realize that black was going to play a Sente move to capture those three stones. I didn't realize. It's very interesting. O12 is so weird. Okay, wow, we just saw some very interesting moves. We saw bump and diagonal. Wow. So Forrest bumped because what? He wanted to harass the weight cutting connection over here. But largely it seems like the kind of move where he's just trying to become thick and attack it. Oh, these moves didn't happen by the way. It was bump in here. Um, Alan should just answer somehow, and the way that he answered set up some potential capturing over here. It is locally so bad that people might still be surprised, even if you see the Sente capture and try to capture it. So obviously, the left side got blasted off of that a little bit. Black's left side is not particularly efficient here. But this game is still definitely playable. Hmm. Um, let me give me a moment. Let me make sure I'm reading the same coordinates that you are here, so I can answer to this question. Um, there we go. Black N10, white N11, black L12. Um, so you're talking about a potential sequence here where black could try to attack it by preventing its movement and try to surround this white group on the right side. I think this move is a little too much for me. I would personally start here and wait to peep if I get a chance to. I actually don't really think this white group is supposed to die. They could harass the black group in the bottom right corner in enough ways to earn some space here, and also has some space there and plenty of movement direction out that way. So a forcing move to threaten those three sons. Hmm. It's difficult. So the way that Forrest should play this is he should find some way where, even though he's in trouble here, he's going to combine the white group on the right side, the white group on the bottom side, and his top side area into some efficient shape, into some efficient punch. Wow. It is difficult to set something up properly. The way that Forrest chose was to just immediately play here, which is basically what he was aiming at when he played this bump. If he would immediately have done this without that bump, then probably white would have um, played an attach across here. So at that moment, white would definitely not have answered on the right side, but just fix the center. And even if you give up those stones on the outside or on the right side, this doesn't look that comfortable for black. White would be controlling the important area of the board. So he chose to bump first to prevent that kind of sequence, and then played outside very ambitiously. This applies about as much pressure as he can, I think. And White has to choose exactly how he wants to save that group. It should be pretty easy to save, but if he runs it out through the center, then he might help black develop the top side. And if he runs it out through the bottom side, he might help black save and control an attack against the white bottom side. So it's easy to make bad exchanges in a situation like this. It's easy to accidentally lose some value for the fight because what you should really be caring about is something different than what you expect. Something might be very urgent, a hidden urgent area. Is black not worried about something like M7? M7. Yeah, so that is a very tempting option for white to go and cut this through. But often it's less good of a shape than people think to cut through that like that. Mostly because even after you do it, black can take care of the sides sort of separately, or he doesn't have to try to connect. He can do things whichever way, in his own way, whichever way he can find it. But honestly, in this case, it might be okay to play this white move. Then black could play a knight's move here, maybe. This is very interesting. Hmm. Hmm. So white would be under some pressure with that group for sure after that move. And it's that's the sort of thing where you're thinking like, well, maybe that exchange is a mistake. If I'm gonna have some cutting pressure immediately, like maybe I should just take care immediately of this. But then black could be the one to reinforce this shape somehow. And then you're thinking like, oh, this is a mistake because now I don't get to cut through and prevent this power. Go Boston! Hello, Feed and Sun. Welcome to the chat. I don't think I ever went to a Go Congress in Boston, but I have gone to a couple tournaments, just a couple times. Ooh, is that real? Boston Congress in 2026? It's confirmed? I'm definitely going to that one. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I'll definitely be excited if I can. K7 is also Sente. Black has a million weaknesses. There are a lot of weaknesses in this black area. Since like this capture of the three stones is extremely tenuous, I'll show it again for any viewers who missed it the first time. Black has this bump, and then this move is just barely collecting it. And since white only has two liberties the whole way, white can only extend the whole way. And everything is Sente. Even if white gets one of these moves, that's Sente. Any move that white gets in this general vicinity is going to be Sente to save those three stones, which would be very valuable because it creates a cutting point over here as well. Wait, M8 looks strong. How should black deal with it? The attach across there. Talking about this move here. Alan played a push here, by the way, which is a classic good move to press this. But attach here, interesting idea to directly make a cut happen. It's quite hard for black to do anything because all the moves are sent over here. So maybe, I mean, maybe we can get away with this and this one, and this weight Atari is not Sente. This one is just barely off the line that black is going down over here. So black would be able to answer that. So maybe we can get away with running it out like this, and black could just about take care. There is a sequence going on down here where black can turn cuts this one. If white answers, then black could capture these two stones inside. So typically we would consider this to be a win for black to get the territory, get the safety, and the black what black gave up, the shape that white manages to capture with, is not that awesome, not that efficient, especially since white already had some AGDs over here. So there is something going on over there as well, because if white answers over here, there's some shape weaknesses in the white shape. If white cuts, then white could get chased over here. And although white could use any Sente move to make this work, black doesn't always have to save it. Black can give it up in some situations. If black is like getting enough, it would absolutely be worth it to capture these stones, for example. So there's some delicacy going on with that cutting point and the relationship to the three stones and the relationship to the potential connection through the center here. Who's going to control that? Everything is very interesting over there. Wow, so black immediately chose to defend this area rather than to block. So that allows white to run through, play a Hane over here is usually a good shape. And the reason why black is allowing that is because black wants to make a strong cut over here. I'm not sure whether he's planning on a co-cut. Probably not. Probably he's planning on making a cut like this and a real attack on these white stones, a serious attack. That's the point of this one. It's why it's quite awkward, is that now if white answers somehow, for example, if white answers here, black would definitely not want to Hane back, but maybe jump or extend. However white answers, black can choose a better shape than he was going to choose just immediately. So it's a good move, I think, to ask this first and press on what exactly white is going to do to save this weakness in the center. At what point does black want to play the ko in the corner? Probably at the moment when he gets surrounded with this group and wants to save it, you can try to play the ko in the corner. But it's a little difficult because also, let's say Wait attacks this group on the outside, Black forgets it, and Wait, this is a terrible variation. But imagine a Wait attacks this, and Black is going to try to use this ko in the corner to save his group, trying to do that. Well, Wait doesn't have to go for the ko directly, right? Wait could let me make sure. There is some messiness with that Atari. If you do this and cut, then this one looks like it's going to work. Then there's here and here would actually capture back the corner for Black, even though White can capture this. There's some messiness going on. Um, but I was thinking like you could do that, and effectively, if you can get that Atari in and play here, you actually have a lot of liberties as well. You can force Black to fill in everything, and eventually Black would like have to start a ko after playing a bunch of moves, unless Black wants to fill in all of the liberties. Where this will be how many liberties? 1, 2, 3. Exchange play. So 3 moves to get to a total of 7 liberties inside means that currently it's 10 liberties and then the extra liberties. So this would have enough liberties if you can get that Atari in. Yeah, 10 liberties and the outsides will make. I mean, it's a lot. Okay, so this Black group can't easily capture the corner and win the capture race. It's not actually a given, although you'd like it to be. So that's why Forrest isn't playing like really, really ambitiously with it and like totally giving up. He's being a little reserved with it. It's probably a good idea to reinforce this, get some area of your own as you continue the game. Okay, White chose to attach here as his way to fix this weakness. Yeah, Black could still choose to do something really aggressive with this kind of thing, but it's gonna be very, very difficult to prove. Now, Wait might just Atari and play Hane, something like that. White is getting so much movement through this part, and to counterattack this Black group, it's going to be extremely hard to prove that you can make any serious attack. So it's going to be a lot better for Black to choose a soft attack on this White group, taking care of himself and pressing White slowly. Hmm. Maybe Black could play this pinching move. This one might be possible. No, this is too much. Too much. I'm going crazy. Probably Black is going to play a Hane back. Wait. He did the pinching move. He actually did it. He actually exchanged this. I don't think that was a good exchange. I think that White just gained some value on the outside. Black is happy that he's gotten rid of some White eye shape, I guess, but surely it's more pleasant that White gets the movement through the center. Wow. This game, at the moment, let's see. Black still has the upper right. White has the bottom left. The bottom left is bigger. White also has some potential on the bottom side to have quite a bit of territory there, and he's not that weak since he can connect anytime and play Sente moves anytime. He also has some left side potential to attack these Black 4 stones, and he's already captured those 3 stones. In general, this game is going to be really good for White unless Black can make something awesome happen, attacking the White group on the right side, the bottom side, maybe the corner, or makes a huge area on the top side. So I would say White is favored at the moment, even though there was this awesome capture that Forrest did. White is probably still favored here. But this game is definitely going to develop. It's going to be very interesting. So I think for now we might take a break and go check. Oh my goodness. We have a couple more moves. There's a Hane and a crosscut here. So White is not even thinking he's in that much danger if he's playing a crosscut here. He's like getting himself as much outside pressure as possible. So I think we're going to take a break and go check out the other game in just a bit. This was board 2 between Alan Huang and Forrest Sung. So then we're going to be checking out board 3 featuring Alex Chi. And it was Yanjun Liu. So we'll be right back. What's up, everybody? We're back. Short break, and it's time to watch Alex Chi play board 3 versus Yanjun Liu. So Alex is representing New York City, Yanjun Liu representing Boston. Um, yeah, in this game, Alex is black and Yanjun Liu is white. So they started with a 3-3 invasion, and yeah, Yanjun Liu played this star point on the left side. It can be played. I think it's a little less popular at a high level. We tend to like going to the corners. And even if you're going to play this sort of setup here, people tend to play this move because it's a little further away from the like slightly stronger and a little closer to the slightly weaker stone. But it's not a real major difference by any stretch of the imagination. This corner enclosure by Alex is totally normal. And then white chose a 3-3 invasion of his own. These are all Joseki that we've seen before. And black chose to take the topside block because he wanted to switch. He wanted to spend his next move capturing the corner. This is a variation I'm sure you've seen before as well, where black has a nice position on the right side. Can really try to build that to be very big. So white chose to extend and extend on the bottom side. This is sort of creeping towards that right side, but also building his own area. I think it's a very reasonable way to play. And black chose this approach in the upper left corner. So far we've had a pretty normal opening as these things go. And now white plays the one space high pincer, which is reinforced by a stone here. So this starts some variations, which probably no one knows exactly how to do it because it's pretty rare to see a two space on the left side like this. And Alex chose to play the knight's move against that area rather than the maybe more common knight's move against the upper left stone. And that makes a lot of sense because if white would choose to cut, first of all, then black would be making a split shape towards the more important area. And this would um, put a lot of pressure on the corner. The corner is what we want to put more pressure on than the side. So white should not choose to cut right now. That's why white chose to take care of his own group. And then the meaning of the knight's move as well, not just white can't cut, so white can knight's move, but it means that black is applying more pressure to this left side and trying to make white add more stones there. So as black plays the knight's move in turns, white should answer to stop black from honeying and establishing a good shape. But at the same time, when white does answer, you could argue this is becoming a little thick. Like this one space jump back is maybe not in the right spot. Either white would want to turn or play it somewhere else if they got to replay that stone, take it off the board and put it somewhere else. So black was sort of satisfied with just that exchange by himself. He can't push any further because white would use that to press up and build the left side big. So he chose to attach into the corner. And white played the outside hane, very, very normal. And black played the tiger's mouth. We've all seen that before. And white played just extend here. He could have chosen this one, but probably wouldn't have been very good in this case. White would continue with his hane probably. And there's some awkwardness here where black like kind of wants to extend to break this area, but then this move is a vital point for white. But if you come back and answer to that, then that's like a little too slow. It's a little weird to continue playing. These leaning moves probably lose some of their value in that variation. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I honestly am not sure whether these two moves make that variation better or worse for black. Black got more than what he's supposed to get after double pincer. In that variation, probably. Yeah, you know what? This one should be good for black. Those two stones should be good for black. The fact that black got so much movement. You're right. You're right. If white has to come back and fall back here, that's passive, and black got these stones are actually well positioned to save the black group. That should be it. So then I agree with what white has done to just fall back here and let black extend. So then white played this jumping move. It's a big move, looking to make a big area. He's hoping that area is really going to solidify slowly as the game goes on. And black chose to take initiative to the top side. Then white exchanged this one time, which breaks some of the black shape and really tried to attack it. This makes sense because if white wouldn't have done anything like this, these four stones could get under pressure sometime. So by making a surround on that black group, he's sort of skipping the time when black would try to put pressure on them. The problem is he's going to have to use this surround effectively against that one stone. And it's going to be a little difficult when his white upper right corner is still weak. So I'm not exactly sure it's the best move, but it does apply some pressure to black. Black needs to immediately save it. And so he played that nice move and then turned here. This turn is a good move when you're trying to save that group because it threatens to capture the one stone. And if white answers, sorry. Do I have the colors wrong? White is Alex and black? No, the colors are right. White is a she. I'm sorry. Thank you for alerting me. All right, white is a she. So, sorry about that. Okay, so black turned and white did not answer. White played the diagonal because, yeah, if white would answer here, then black would still be able to save this group. And black this exchange gains more territory, gains more room. So this is the perfect moment for white to give up on attacking, say that this is completely fine. White chose to diagonal out from the upper right corner. And that means black can push and take the base on the top side. White can reinforce and take this quite securely, but it is quite nice from black's perspective to be able to make this kind of space, and particularly to harass this knight's move from the outside to gain this outside benefit and gain that outside benefit as well. He's continuing to put pressure on white's upper right group. Somehow it feels like white didn't do anything that was that wrong, but white is still losing control. Just Alex is doing a great job of tickling these minor weaknesses and um, taking his benefit by leaving his stones just a little bit weak and then fixing them for profit. So this, I agree that this looks like this is a good variation for black. Black fixed the capture on that one stone when white pushed here, and that it should be a net right now. There's still some pressure that white can continue to run it out. There's still some pressure that white would get in trouble on the top side, life and death. That is not 100% clean yet either. So white jump here is very justified. It's maybe reduce the right side, maybe attack the top, maybe save our own group. All of these things are very valuable, and the white one-space jump shape is obviously totally fine by itself. But black's move here was a nice challenge. This says, okay, you can go ahead and save your group on the top side, but it's not reducing, it's helping me build. That was a good idea by white here. Or by black here. So white immediately attached. This looks like it's kind of too much to go in and attach immediately here. There can be, it can have a good point, but whichever way black Hana is, it feels like actually both Hanes would lead to black having some control. Black chose this Hane because he wanted to combine with his move that he just played over there, but it was also possible, to play this Hane and take a nice corner and let white run out here. Probably this is a bit worse though. I think that Alex chose the correct Hane to play the outside Hane, challenge this white stone, and challenge that his area on the right side is getting really to be quite big. So white played the counter Hane. The more normal move is just extend. This is one wouldn't allow cuts and craziness. But if you extend here, then probably black was going to play connect. I think connect is the right one. Then yeah, there are many variations how this could go. I guess I would expect it to just be like this. And white could save the group. Probably you should connect. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably you should connect. I think this way would have been fine, but black is maybe a little bit better. Honestly, it's not that clear. Maybe there's a better move for black even than connect here. I think this extend would have been fine. You can't seem to find the games on Pandanet. The games are there. So Alex Chi's name is Alex Chi NJ for New Jersey, and he's playing against LYJCQ, and it's Moonfire versus K-Bag Fan, because Forest Song is a fan of Calvin's son, the One Pro. Those two games are going on live right now. You should be able to find them on Pandanet. Anyway, this is not what happened in the game. In the actual game, white chose to Hane rather than extend. It doesn't mean Hane is bad, by the way. Hane can be playable as well. But after that Hane, white chose to play the counter Atari here, which I'm not a big fan of. When you let black capture a stone, and you can't even really easily fight the ko after that, black just seems to be very efficient. Black has very nice control of the right side, and it's hard for white to save these 3 stones. So black blocked here at the 3-3, and white ran down. This allows white to make a split shape, but the reason why black did that was that white doesn't get any space in the bottom right corner. So this will lead to a situation where black has the space, has the the group to save in the corner. Has a pretty comfy time doing it. And white is going to have to continue to run. Even this Panuki, although white's split shape can put pressure on it, it's not real pressure because it's a very, very thick shape. So once again, Alex, just like in the other game where I wanted to take the split shape, but they showed, hey, you don't have to take the split shape. It's actually not that good to take a split shape where both sides are not under pressure. Yeah, Alex has shown that again by playing this corner and towards the bottom side. This looks so nice for black when black is knights moving here and stopping white from making any attack. Take all this territory, put the pressure on. It seems like Alex is taking a very, very smooth control of this game. And there were just some small mistakes maybe that white made taking care of the upper right. Maybe some small mistakes over here. A small mistake over here to Hane instead of extend. And Alex is just like taking bite by bite that advantage and continuing to build it, not letting his foot off the gas. It's a really nice performance by Alex so far this game. So white played this attachment, which Alex should answer. And white is just reinforcing their shape, but black is also reinforcing his shape in the corner. So both of them get stronger, and white tries to use that to say, hey, I can build the whole left side. This can all be mine as compensation for black basically getting all of theirs on the right. Problem is, Alex can still pose problems. This white group is not totally fine, and wait, to do that, ignored a push. It was possible for white to just answer and cover that push, but that doesn't mean this would actually make the game easier. I don't think this is an easy game to play for white at all. Still, black could even just like casually jump, aim at the annoying peep, aim at pressuring this whole white group, and white wouldn't be able to make that big of an area, at least not easily. So white capped here and allowed this Hane, very painful Hane, and Alex just did the easy extend. It was possible to play double Hane, but maybe Alex is thinking after that, if white Atari is down and extends up like this, then yeah, you can play here. You can make something happen. The white Hane is still going to be annoying, and it's the reason why this is annoying, I say, is because it's difficult to break through no matter what you do. And this shape, although black still can't break through, just like the other one, white got like a lot stronger, like this. So black cut, white Atari, and answer. Man, that's so annoying. from White's perspective, you're like, oh, black did this one. They're letting me off the hook. They're not going after stuff because I had some counterplay. And then you just answer, and black cuts like this. And if you answer here, you have to take a bad shape, and your opponent can even Hane first to ask about whether you're going to answer on either side. So now these two stones, if you save them, you die with the bottom right. And if you save the bottom right, you lose the two stones. So you can't Hane, you can't answer this Hane. You have to fall back. You can't cut that Hane. And then black would get a route in. That's actually acceptable. I think maybe white could have answered still like that. But it makes sense for white to trigger this, or for black to trigger this, sorry, with the cut first, asking white whether that's big enough at this moment, and white chose to let black capture those two stones in Sente. And then still black can still Hane, cause some pressure. This game is getting out of hand. Although white has a big area over here, basically Alex has one task left, which is to reduce that area, make sure it doesn't become anything very insane. And black's territory in almost all four corners, plus a big side, is going to be hard for white to match, even with Komi. So if I go back and check how this game has continued since then, Alex did immediately start reducing. So he played this one. This is quite a deep reduction. He didn't want to give white any any freebies, any free stuff, and he's thinking, okay, as long as I can continue, make sure I'm safe, I can run out, then the game basically has one last hard moment, save this stone, and it's over. It's hard for white to make something happen. So white did a very conservative attack. Just doing this one covers that cut on the bottom side, which would also be very difficult to deal with if I got a little too crazy here. And then black chose to play a jump back here. Not just for safety, taking care of himself by connecting back to that group, but also applying some latent pressure to the white upper left group, which is still not that okay as a 2-space next to a large knight's move, some target area. And so, yeah, white just defended again, took the area. Probably not a spirited enough method. Alex decided to immediately attach here and try to abuse it. Try to still walk in anyway, even though white is trying to block. Yeah, finally, white got slightly annoyed with him and cut. But white has to save this. If white would play on the bottom side and black could Atari, capture this group with just a Hane or even something a little softer, might even capture it. Yeah, this is not going to be good for white. This is not playable. You can just take care of the outside. You can see that white is in big trouble. So white couldn't play on that side. White had to fall back like this. But that means that Alex could simply capture that one stone. And this is very difficult for white. White is not going to be able to capture these stones inside, but she has to try. There's almost no way for her to do anything here. She blocks, and yeah, Alex just moves the group. She just blocks. So white has managed to block this outside, but with particularly bad shape over here. Still, Alex can save this group and apply still more pressure to that upper left. And also, anytime this Hane connect will likely be black's Sente, right? It's actually a little interesting over here, this Hane connect stuff. Because if you Hane and connect now, okay, let's ignore the center, pretend the center is alive. This clamp into this stuff, usually this is going to work for black somehow. Yeah, in this case, we're going to have to chase the group on the bottom. But I'm not sure we have enough liberties. Oh, yes, we do. We do. Any move will chase the bottom. So that means that this clamp is indeed going to be working. White would have to fall back. And this is just so big for black to push in here that is very likely later on when black plays this Hane and connect, white will have to answer that as well. Which makes it pretty clear this area, although it's very big, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 60 points or so. It's not going to be much more than that. And white doesn't have that many points elsewhere. Black should have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, maybe. Not quite 90. It's not that not that different, but definitely black has a commanding lead. So in the actual game, after this exchange, black started actually from this clamp, just to annoy white a little more, I guess. If white captures this, then I think black is planning on capturing here and trying to really press this white group and then also save the corner group. I mean, I'm not actually sure how this is going to go. Maybe black is planning on using this peep for, if you can connect over here, then you save the group very comfortably and attack that and can cause, still there's a cutting issue here. So if white connects over here, then you get to connect here and apply pressure that you can kill the top side still. So white would probably have to save that somehow, and black would have timing to come back over here. So this clamp is sort of asking white to come in and commit in a situation where they're still quite weak on the outside. So it's quite difficult for white to really follow up on that and do so. It's an awkward moment for white. I love this move, actually. I think this is a great move by Alex. It shows some go development on his side. That, yeah. Even in a position where you're leading, you should still bother the opponent over every little thing you can. Very nice. Very nicely done. Yeah, white was annoyed. She couldn't handle it, so she pressed down here. And that means that this peep, she's planning to answer with this clamp, like so. Still there's going to be a lot of a nuisance over here. Still, Black can save those stones, connect them out to the center. White could then try to kill this group, but there's still a cut here, and still something going on over there where Black could continue to save it. Maybe it's not that clear. It's not that clear, but this fight should be working for Black because of the cut over there, at least. So I think I expect to see this peep from Alex. It's the fiercest way. So probably he's going to spend a little bit of time. This is where we are on the game right now. Alex has 5 minutes left, and White is Yunchan, right? Is that Yanjin? Yanjin. I apologize. I'm quite insensitive at the moment, I feel. But Yanjin has 6 minutes left. Alex has 5. So they're about to enter the Buyomi stage. Still, it's going to be hard for White to put enough pressure on Black and Buyomi here. Black basically has all the fun to have in the game at the same time as there's all the other resources. So interesting. Alex starts with the peep rather than starting with the inside move. It should also work. There should be not that much difference. But I think, what is the right way for White to handle that? I think White might start with the Atari. But then you can get busy and get cut on the top side. But actually, it's not that bad, maybe. Yeah, so instead of this, sorry, Black has played here, and White is thinking. I was thinking White might try this one. It isn't really working anyway. This is just a very clean game by Alex. Alex did a great job applying pressure slowly, slowly, slowly. Just taking care of his group, going to the top side, doing the things he's supposed to do, and basically just trying to to wait for White's mistakes, absorb them, and continue on, and just keep going, play proper Go as long as you can. I like Alex's play a lot because he does seem to try to play proper, quite a bit more than even most other pros, which I appreciate. It makes it fun. Makes it fun to watch these games. He's just using the weaknesses, using the little tools that he has as best he can, but generally doing things the right way, the way that he thinks that is best. So White can still pull comeback here, but after this peep, it looks like it's going to be really hard since White will pretty much have to give up the left side in some way or a connection and something on the top side, unless White finds something more clever than I can find at the moment. I can't find a way for White to handle this cleanly. So I think it might be a good time to take a break and go back to the other game. I'm not exactly sure. Yes, the other game is heating up. So, all right, in a couple minutes, I'll see you, and we're the end of game 2, board 2, between Forrest Song and Alan Huang. Looking forward to it. See you guys soon. All right, we're back. and watching Forrest versus Alan Huang again. We left this off in the middle game. It's a very exciting middle game. Seemed like Alan was doing all right, but he has a lot of weak groups to take care of. The bottom right corner is not alive yet. The right side, not alive yet. The bottom side, not exactly alive yet. These 3 stones are dead. There's a exciting sequence going on where if white plays here, then black could still capture them, still run them out all the way like this and capture like that. So any forcing move that would change the sequence would be threatening to save those 3 stones again. But Alan has wisely chosen to delay taking any forcing move, not allowing black to fix that and make that less interesting. Instead, Alan is starting by trying to take care of his group on the right side. So he played that cut and then he played this one. So the bottom right black group is also under pressure at the same time as it's trying to apply pressure to white. This game is really interesting. The bottom right corner is still not alive yet either. It can be a ko, or it can even be dead in a huge amount of liberties as well. So black pushed here, white blocked, and then black cut. So that's making things. I mean, these 2 stones are not capturable. Makes things really intense. These 2 stones are not capturable, but black could try to push through. Black can try to use that cut. Black can try to save his group separately. White is just going to play the bamboo joint, which I think that's a great move, honestly. I think that applies a lot of pressure that he could squeeze and apply pressure to that one black stone over here. At the same time, it gives him the most momentum that he can imagine towards the right side there. So that bottom right black group is in big trouble. The Ohio Go Congress recently. That was a lot of fun. So shout outs to Ohio indeed. I agree. Okay, so in the game, Forrest played extend here. And white answered this one. Yeah, this was black's sort of other threat. At this moment, I mean, black was thinking about wedging, and at this moment when black was going to take care of that group, he could also have thought about playing this push and cut, which if white answers would allow black to capture these 2 stones, getting a lot of territory and a lot of safety. That was one of black's best things to go for. But it only really works because if white saves on this side, then black has a really annoying extend out and some sequence over here. So by playing this connecting move, white has fixed that weakness, and at the same time, he's threatening to save those 3 stuns. So black played away, which is probably correct. But now, anytime white could do this, and if black tries to do the same sequences that he was doing before, you can see at the very end, all the way through, white is going to be able to get this move and connect them back, capturing the whole black bottom side. So this move is a really important move, saving the weakness in the center and also the weakness on the side, and also aiming at those 3 stones. It's definitely a key move from white. But when black blocked here, it seems like black, is exploiting white's lack of initiative in saving these stones on the right side. And if white just dies there, if white just drops dead, it doesn't matter how much he can kill in this part. It's not worth it. So, white chose to attach. And as long as he can save these, it's going to be okay, but it's not clear he can save them. So black is going to muster his strongest attack. He attacks from these 2 stones. Those were very weak. If he had ignored that and played elsewhere, then this attach on top is probably going to be white's strong move, looking for a squeeze of some sort. Black can't push through and cut at this time because he's too short of liberties. He'd have to come back here, and white could block. If black ends up just falling back, even though black can push through once first, if black eventually just ends up falling back, you can see ultimately these stones on the right side are not going to get in trouble for white. There's no way for black to do this. So it made a lot of sense for black not to answer in the center, but instead to diagonal here, apply pressure. And then white Haned. So that's threatening to capture these 2 stones. Black has to answer, and white connected. This is a common way to do things, by the way. It may seem strange, but this shape actually, I've seen it happen a lot, where there's 2 stones and an attachment, and then a cut here, like this particular shape. This hane is really nice to get to. It's tempting to fix your cutting point first, but if you can get to this hane first, it means that the resulting control after the fight, as long as you stay connected, you have the Ataris and threats to save that stun, and basically you're just on top of black with that one Hane stun. So you have a lot more resources than if you would have just connected, and then black would definitely choose to extend and get on top of you in the pushing battle. So this was correct, I think, to play Hane there and then connect. Although I'm not exactly sure about connect. Maybe it's better to table shape. I just have no idea. Anyway, black played this cut. And now it seems pretty clear that this white group is surrounded. Even if white Ataris, white can't continue to cut here because he'd get captured. And if he connects, then black can connect. And there's no way for white to break through this shape. What white does have is a Sente move here. So he has one Sente I. And then he's going to try to make a second I on the right side. So by playing that and then playing all the way through like this and here, then at any time now, white could play this move and he would be alive, even though black tries to kill. White manages to make two eyes. So, wow. That means that definitely disconnect is the right way if you can live like this. So, yeah, disappointment for the murder fans. I'm apologizing here. White just turned and clamped first to harass black as much as possible. I don't even know why. It seems to me like black can block like this, right? Maybe white is thinking about getting a Hane here for some reason in the variations. Not exactly sure why white chose to push and clamp. It doesn't look that intuitive of a direction. You know, even though white can cut now, then throw in and short the liberties as much as you can. Still black has 3 and white has 2. So there's no way something would actually happen here. And white still probably has to come back to live. But anyway, black chose to push up and then play here, which meant white could get this Hane and then connect. Maybe they were thinking about something else. I'm not sure exactly. It seems like this exchange was quite strange, both why white clamped and why black didn't cover. But okay. That was the game, and now white is alive. So white has one clear eye here and another clear eye here. And given that white is alive, and black hasn't captured these 3 stones, and black is in trouble on the left side, and white has all the territory in the bottom left, and all that, black should not be doing very well this game. So I think Forrest probably knew he's in trouble, and he's got to do something. And when you know you're in trouble and you got to do something, that tends to lead to greater trouble. So he didn't want to just capture these 3 stones, because anytime, if white tries to save them, it would be really small, actually, at this point, since white would already, like, white is already strong with all those surrounding stones. Black is already strong with those surrounding stones. It doesn't do that much. So black chose to try to kill the bottom right corner and make it a ko. And white actually made the ko right away. He didn't try to make ko threats first or anything. He just made the ko and even played here. Allowing black to try to capture those 3 stones. So that's interesting, since he could potentially have tried to save them. But when black tries to capture them, now we can do it a different way. We can actually do this way, sacrificing those 3 stones to kill the 4 stones on the bottom side, which is really big, actually. Those 4 stones are a big area. So probably it was actually a mistake from black to answer with this attempt to capture. That actually is sort of helping white, because if at this point you're going to come back and switch back to the 4 stones, then this is a bad exchange inside, you know? So maybe black could have tried to kill, or maybe black could have tried to break the bamboo. But there was probably, maybe black could have just diagonaled. It's kind of lame. There was probably a better way than pushing here. It seems a little strange. Anyway, black then chose Atari, which is Sente's threatening to save those 3 stones, and came back to capture the ko. And white used this outside benefit. And white is thinking now about whether he even wants to win the ko or whether he wants to capture the 4 stones first. And honestly, it looks like the 4 stones to me. If I were playing, I want to take the 4 stones, let black kill my group in the bottom right, and then play something on the top side. And any move, as long as white manages to save something reasonable on the top side, white should be leading this game. He has a huge bottom left side conglomerate. And black, although they captured that corner, they only have that corner in the top side, and white is even attacking this still. But just because that variation is good doesn't mean it's correct for white. Actually, white's position is good. So if he does this one, it can also be correct. Then if black comes back to block here and white lives, then black would save that, but white would have saved that. I'm honestly not even sure that living was that big this whole time. Um, Even though when white lives, black can be under some pressure with that group. I guess that's the main reason why black has been going for this code this whole time, is that he wants to save the group by capturing the white group. Hmm. Okay, in the actual game, let's see. Let me come back. So in the actual game, Alan chose to capture here, which is my choice as well. And then, very interestingly, Forrest did not choose to finish the ko, but left the ko and continued to save his group on the left side. Then white tried to play a random move in the ko. It was valuable. Black used this move as his ko threat. That's a common ko threat. It's like asking white which way they want to answer. In the game, white chose to answer with the connect because he wanted to keep more pressure on the left side group, which is not like fully alive yet. It makes sense. Then black got to play this way, white blocked, and black blocked, and white jumped. So this group wasn't like literally completely alive, and then white ran it out. Okay, then we have black recapturing the ko. And so white's group isn't completely alive, black's group isn't completely alive, and this group isn't completely alive. There is potential for black to make some victory. And to be honest, this situation on the top side, I already kind of like that for black. It looks like black gained something, unless he's gonna immediately drop dead on the left side here, which I don't think he would immediately drop dead. But black's upper side territory is looking harder and harder to get into as he gets to reinforce it like that. Is black alive in the live game? We'll get there. We'll get there. So white plays this move, looking to reduce softly into the top side, and also can put pressure on this black group in the center, which may be what you're talking about. And black just answered that, and they played a ko. And then black had to find a ko threat somewhere. Black chose to use this ko threat, which can be good for reducing the area, but it can be bad for the life and death on the left side. When white answers here, that's actually really relevant to the black group's life and death on the left. So after that, black chose to answer again anyway, and then white took this Atari. Wait, what? White took this Atari and black didn't answer. Black came back to fight the ko, but definitely this is a lot bigger than normal. Why did black not answer here? These 3 stones were really important because it means white is so strong here, white can think about invading immediately. But black didn't answer again to the top side. It would be hard to do that. Black played here, and then white came back to recapture the ko. So it's effectively a trade where white got to capture these 3 stones, and black got this attach, which can put some pressure back on white, but those 3 stones are fine. And this whole black group, when black has allowed these 3 stones to be captured, is not alive. So the reason why black attached here, he was thinking, if I defend over here, I'm just going to drop dead. If white plays a move like this, then this whole black group can just be dead. A variation like this, and here, black is just dead. So, black can live. Black is dead locally, but can live with this. Wait a second, it's actually not that clear. Oh, hang on a second. Because here, black attached here, thinking that was necessary to gain another eye in this part, right? Whoa. This is interesting. Maybe white can try to kill. Okay. I'm quite confused. This is not a cute question. What's going on in the game is very hard, but capturing these 3 stones is definitely very important. Black attached. This attach can build eye space, can build eye shape, and it can reduce those 4 stones. It's all up in the air at the moment. White decided answering that would give black good shape, so let me go back to fight the ko. And black was like, okay, then I can go bust through and try to save my stones. And in doing so, maybe I can make some eyes. However, white proves that's wrong. White immediately cuts like this. If black wants to save, black's got to cut like that. And when white answers here, black does not have any additional I on the bottom side, right? Probably. Um, I mean, there's some trickery going on over here. That's a little confusing to me. If here, here, and here, then okay, it's short of liberties. So black cannot play this because it's self-authority. Okay. So there's no chance for black to make a second eye over here. That means, wait, when white answers here, black doesn't have a second eye. Black is in trouble with this whole group here. So black started with this move, which white answered. That was forcing. And then black played Atari here. White answered. Black was hoping to get this Atari in Sente, which could then make it a second eye. Actually, that's smart. So white did not answer. Never mind. I misunderstood. White did not answer that because now you can make a second eye with this part. I see. Like that. And then, even though you have the throw-in, you have the extra liberty, so you can manage to connect back. So you need to use this combination to make that second eye. Very interesting. And black is alive. However, white can still go back here. So even though black managed to save it, black only managed to save it at cost of, at like results of trying to make this co happen, and he managed to save these stones, but it wasn't very much territory at all. And white still is coming in here and getting huge results from his co, regardless. Capturing these 3 stones made that corner group completely okay as well. So black answers like so. And yeah, we have the game just ended, just now, live. Ah, was this the last moment here? Wow, did we catch up to the game? Yeah, we caught up to the game at the very end. So white resigned at this moment. Or sorry, not white. Black resigned. White won by resign at this moment. Excuse me, I misspoke. Yeah, I guess while white was thinking. But black cannot win this game because even though he's managed to save this bottom side group, he has not managed to capture that. He has not managed to make enough territory over here that not capturing this is okay. And wait, yeah, wait gets so much. Wow. This was a really exciting game and a really exciting finish. Yeah, very interesting. Um, they had a nice prolonged fight. It started from this Hane that forced it at the very beginning, and then that gave White a huge outside influence, and White eventually got targeted with that influence, as always happens when you get that kind of thing. You basically always get targeted with that stuff. But the reason why it's so powerful is exactly what Alan showed in the game. It's difficult for White to be attacked effectively. It is possible to attack it. You can easily threaten to surround it. But White is actually way easier to survive, make eyes at that kind of wall than you'd think. So yeah, in the game, Wait was so confined here, and just in the tiniest of spaces, Alan manages to make forcing move, forcing move, forcing move, forcing move, one eye, and can fix with the other eye in the other tiniest of spaces. Manages to make 2 eyes, save the group, and save the game at that point. And after that, I mean, Black is definitely behind. He tries to make this complications, but I don't think he really got a realistic chance after that. No matter how he would continue the game. He did a good job pressing here, pressing that, but I don't think when you give up these 3 stuns, I think it's all over. I think you have to answer these 3 stuns even though probably you still lose anyway. Even though this group is still gonna be under huge pressure. Probably the reason why he didn't answer these 3 stuns is because he thought this block, and then this one is Sente, and then Wait will try to kill it, and with that much, like, Wait could probably just directly try to kill. But it's actually not that clear, so I think Black should try. I think Black should try, but it's still so hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to get back to the game, excuse me. Bang, bang. So the final game state here is exactly this one. This is the final game, and Black just didn't have enough territory left, so resign. Good game. Oh, White finished the ko and then Roos or something. I see, I see. Yeah, 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 there was one more move. One more move. White finished the ko and then back resign. Yeah, we can go quickly um, to the last game. Yes, yes. That sounds good. Let's go to the last game for a short break here, and we'll summarize the whole round. It seems like New York City has won. Congrats to them. GG's. Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're just here to recap the final game of board three, and we left this one off close to the end. Alex hadn't quite won, but um, it was looking very, very favorable to him. Eventually, after this peep, White decided to just answer, and then Alex actually reinforced his connection one step there and connected here. That put White under huge pressure on the top side. White needed to go save it. She did so successfully like this, manages to save the group, but Black managed to save his own group. Now Black is extremely strong in the center. White did eventually, though, I will say, successfully manage to kill that one clamping stone and get away with only a small amount of harm, a small amount of territory harm. So well done to White. It was good to cover all that. Still, Black is better. This Hana Connect was his sente. White tried to argue it's not. White is hoping to win the game back, but here we saw this variation. I actually played this stuff out in review, and yeah, at this moment when Black did that, White could not answer here. Any move Black does inside will kill these stones. Even you could just directly block like this. You can see Black has 3 liberties outside and White has only 2. No way to run to get more liberties. So that would mean White is dead. White tried to fight back, find the last moment to not resign, but when Black does this, White can't cut back with Atari. And if you try to save that stone, then you die with 2 to 2 and then 1 to 2. So at this moment, White resigned, gave up the game. It doesn't mean that White could have fallen back here. Of course, White wouldn't have enough territory anyway, and it doesn't mean that White could have connected here because also White wouldn't have enough territory if Black just continues well. So it was a really clean game by Alex here. The game between Forrest and Allen was a lot less uh, clean and not a lot less like smooth, a lot more exciting, but also is the smooth, probably by the AI graph win for Allen. It seemed like he was leading the whole time, although always a chaotic position. I like that kind of game too. But both of them played very well, Alan and Alex, with well-deserved wins today, and that will win the round for New York City over Boston, bringing New York City to 3-0 and Boston to 0-3, unfortunately for them. Congrats to New York City, and thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed very much commentary. I enjoyed very much giving it. Super excited. Hopefully, I can do this again for maybe another AGA City League or something else in the future. I always love commentating Go. Go is awesome. So the next round of the AGA City League will be on the 22nd of March. So that's 2 weeks from now, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's an hour and a half from before now. That'll be between San Diego and Seattle. Thanks for the commentary. I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for coming in and chatting. This has been great. This has been great fun. So see you guys in 2 weeks. US Go Web. It's going to be great. Goodbye.